Hi!
Робиться.
Long story short, I have this rule that every day I try to make a little time block for creation of one video. But yesterday, even though I tried, I just couldn't do it because I felt pretty, well, bad. And this is related to my topic of empathy. Because when people around me are anxious or in bad mood, or I feel this tension in the room, I tend to be more oriented to self-preservation and processing of negative emotions, which leaves me less energy to do something positive, enthusiastic. And of course, I don't want to be like... So today's case study, actually there are 3 case studies, all related to 3 different types of empathy that are related to different outcomes considering mental health. So I will try to explain 3 different empaths and what was happening in their lives. How did they react to different situations? So first we have to understand the difference between cognitive and affective empathy. Try to guess which kind of empathy is more related to me. Just remember what I said earlier. I created some good content and had a few very good ideas, but this energy around me that I didn't want to do a video, so it wouldn't be truthful. So yes, this would be affective empathy. So if we analyze differences between affective and cognitive empathy, first one is when you come into some events, into some place, and then you observe, and you have this automatic understanding of people's needs, distinguishing people's emotions and states and so on. And then you're considerate, and then you can, for instance, project positive emotions or just focus on yourself. But there is no emotional contagion. So this is main difference. Second, empathy is more related. When you come into this room, you feel this negative energy and it is kind of painful. This absorption of emotions around us, if those are emotions, painful emotion, can be painful. It also can confuse the body and mind, and we can have even a bit identity issues, thinking, okay, who am I if I'm constantly having these different mental schemas? Incorporation, which makes it kind of hard to distinguish your emotions from other person's emotions, which makes it kind of hard to regulate your motivation, locus of control, because you somehow feel overwhelmed by other people's emotions, which means you're not in control of yourself. So what informations are related to me? Because if I have some kind of emotions, then I can have this clear cause and effect. But this kind of feelings, I cannot practically understand why they are coming from and what they mean in terms of who I am, and equidistance, because you can move closer. A person who has cognitive empathy can approach other person and be more emotionally empathic, but a person who is high on affective empathy can have troubles separating his emotions from other person, so he can be overwhelmed by negative emotions. You can feel happy in a good company of pleasant and happy people, but extremely, for instance, sad and anxious when you are surrounded by people who are in stress or have some kind of trouble. So this is problem of separation of emotions. The cognitive empathy has this clear understanding of difference between self and other. these emotions are related to me, I know those emotions, but they are not mine. They shouldn't be here. And this is, for instance, when I talk to people who feel like constantly they're feeling bad, and it's more related to many mental disorders and depression and lower self-esteem, because your self-esteem is in a way dependent upon what other people around you feel. So that makes you less functioning because you need outer regulation. And this is troublesome. The third part of empathy, it's called somatic. It's related to somatoform disorders. When a person sees someone is ill, they start to koch, for instance. Or when other people have some kind of symptoms, then they start to observe those symptoms on their body and even magnify those symptoms. And they start assuming or shaping these symptoms that are in concordance to disease of that person. And they cannot distinguish this information from other and their body. They have problem in what we call interoception, because signals from the body can often be misinterpreted. And this is problem. So one empath can regulate his emotions, be rooted, and even help others to better regulate their emotion because he's stable. While other is a reactive empath who is destabilized by other people's emotions. And third can be, like I said, hypochondria, somatoform disorders, because person does not know how to read signals from the body. Communication between body and perception of other people, exteroception, interoception, is confused. And this is third kind of empathy, related to, of course, worse mental health.